Hello there, welcome back to Bottoms Up Verbal. My name is Meg and today is a very special day for all of us. A very happy Republic Day to you all on this day on 26th January 1947. 1948. Is it 1949?
बेटा तुमसे ना हो पाएगा.
1950? 26th January 1950 is the day when the Constitution of India came into effect, which is another way of saying that India officially became a republic on 26th January 1950. In today's video, we are going to look at 8 words related to the Constitution of India. To be more specific, we are going to look at 8 words related to the Preamble of the Indian Constitution. Our first word is preamble. Now this word can be understood by breaking it into 2 halves, pre plus amble. Now pre as a prefix means before and amble comes from the root word ambulo, which means to walk. So something that walks before we get into the main subject matter, which means introduction or a preface or a prologue or an overture. Now from the root word ambulo, we get a lot of other words, for example ambulance, somnambulism, perambulator. So this is what our preamble looks like. We the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic and to grant all its citizens justice, liberty, equality and fraternity. So what is the preamble? The preamble is basically the summary of the entire constitution. Or in other words, the preamble summarizes the hopes and aspirations of the people of India and it defines the fundamental character of what India is to be. Now if you look at the first few words, we the people of India, now that implies that the constitution derives its power from the people of India. That is to say that the people of India are the highest authority of the constitution. Now the beginning of our preamble resembles the preamble of the US, which by the way happens to be the first state to have included a preamble in its constitution. A second word for today is sovereign. Now sovereign can again be understood by breaking it into 2 halves. The first half is sovereign, which means supreme, and the other half is reign, which means power or law. Sovereign means supreme law, which means an independent state. Now the Black's Law Dictionary defines sovereign as the absolute uncontrollable power by which any independent state governs itself. So what this means for India is that no other country, no external country can have any say regarding any internal or external matter of India. Our third word for today is secular, which means that the state does not take into consideration any religion when it is enforcing a law. However, factually speaking, while most of the religions follow the common law, India still identifies the Muslim personal law, which goes against the very word secular. And to solve this problem, a uniform civil code is being proposed, which again is being opposed by some factions, saying that it will allegedly benefit the Hindus who form the majority of the population. So now this isn't a matter of enforcing the constitutional law. It has become a matter of us versus them. And the recent Supreme Court ruling against the triple talaq is one step towards secularism. And mind you, we are not talking about communalism, which our wonderful nationalist political parties perpetrate. We are just talking about our constitution. An interesting fact about this word is that it did not exist in the original preamble. In fact, the words secular, socialist and integrity did not exist in the preamble before 1976. Under the 42nd Amendment, these 3 words were added into the preamble. Now this is interesting because 42nd Amendment happens to be the only amendment where we have in any way edited the original preamble. Our next word is socialism. Now, socialism is a form of political and economic system where the government controls the means of production and the distribution of goods, which means the government decides, plans and controls what and how much should be produced and how should it be distributed. The main aim of socialism is the welfare of the people, to provide equal opportunities to everyone. Now, though this word was added in the preamble in 1976, the very first economic policies of independent India were socialist in nature. Under Nehruvian socialism, we were highly cynical of foreign investment, and that is quite justifiable considering the fact that the last time we trusted a foreigner, we ended up being slaves for 200 years. Post that, in 1991, we had to open up our economy to foreign investment. We had to decentralize our industries. Which brings us to our next word, capitalism. Now, capitalism is a form of economic system where there are no government regulations, where the free market rules. And unlike socialism, where the primary aim is the welfare of people, the primary aim of a capitalist system is profit. All the brands that you look around you, the entrepreneurial wave that has been going around the world for some time now, is a result of capitalism. Does that mean that India is a capitalist country? Not really. We still have government controls and regulations in places. This means that India is not a pure capitalist system and not a pure socialist system. We have a mixed economy. And to be honest, there are no pure socialist or capitalist countries anywhere in the world. The best example of socialism you can get are the Nordic countries, where they have social democracy, which means that they have a welfare state which provides free education, healthcare and housing to the people, but they also have a capitalist economy where the market decides what is to be produced. Our next word is democracy. Democracy is made of two words, demos and kratin. Demos means people and kratin means rule, which means rule of the people. Now, what democracy essentially means is that the people have a control over what laws and policies are being formed. Now, the problem with democracy is that it is the rule of majority with no safeguard in place for the interests of minority. So we need another system, and that's where the next word comes in, republic. Now, republic is the kind of system where there's a written law, a written constitution which governs all the laws and policies of the concerned state. So on one hand, we have democracy, which is concerned with the popular will. On the other side, we have republic, which is concerned with every individual. Every individual has been given certain inalienable rights. So when someone says that India is a democracy, that's not entirely true. India is a democratic republic where the representatives are elected by the people and they govern the state as per the constitution. In fact, there are no purely democratic countries except Switzerland. All the democratic countries that we know of are actually democratic republic. Did you know that the official name of India is the Republic of India? Well, that sounds like a good news for those who ask why do we not have the in our country's name. Did you also know that the UK doesn't identify itself as a democracy? It calls itself a constitutional monarch. And that's our last word for today, monarchy. Monarchy is a form of government where the position of the head of the state is inherited. For example, in the UK, the head of the state is the Queen. So Queen Elizabeth is basically the equivalent of an Indian president. So we saw 8 words today. Preamble, which means introduction. Sovereign, which means an independent state. Secular, which means not taking religion into consideration when enforcing law. Socialism, the form of economy where there's total government control. And capitalism, where there's no government control. Where we also saw that India is a mixed economy. The next word we saw was democracy, which means the rule of the majority, and republic, which means the rule of the law, and monarchy, the form of government where the position of the head of the state is inherited. Hey guys, thank you for watching the video. If you liked it, please make sure that you subscribe to our channel. Thank you, a happy Republic Day, and I'll see you next time.